And we're live. We're live.
So we're back in the corner.
Back in the corner,
and,
the Observerz Corner. Let's fucking
we're
go.
talking about dating in NYC. So you on the market, sir? Talk to me about what the market's like right now.
The market. What's the market like? It's actually, you'd be surprised. It's pretty open. I mean, obviously, when you guys were dating in New York, I mean, I feel like early 2000s. In New York, for me, it's interesting. Like I was saying, like you're not necessarily meeting people in person as much. You go to bars, and you used to go to bars and groups of men would go talk to groups of women and stuff, but now you just look around, everyone's on their phone, and sometimes they're even on their phone on the dating apps in the bar. So a big part of the dating world in New York now are the dating apps. And
and what's a popular dating app?
So I mean, a big one's Hinge. You gotta love Bumble because the girls gotta message you first. I think that makes things a lot easier because you're shooting messages out as a guy. It's not always like the same. You know what I mean? So,
Got you. So you can only act when the girl's interested.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's tough like that. So, but I mean, and I also think there's a different thing nowadays where it's like you
new school.
You meet. Yeah, it's new school. It's like you meet people. They first impressions are just huge, and it can be entirely based off of what you're wearing,
Wow.
And it's not, and a lot of people, I think in New York, personally, I believe this, there's a lot of inflated egos.
Yes,
and
there is.
The biggest dating app there is,
Facts.
For real.
the biggest dating app there is Instagram. Because people are sliding in DMs all the time. I mean, for me, it would be the world if I could go out there, go to a bar, look across the bar and be like, oh my God, I'm in love. But it's not a fucking movie from the 70s,
No, that shit
So then it's you are scrolling through your Instagram and you see a girl and you go, oh, she's hot, and then you slide into her DM.
Well, I mean, it's not necessarily.
It's not that easy too, as well as slide into the DM.
Yeah.
Because if the person is blue check certified, there's no way they see that DM.
That too. That's so if you got that blue check, one, they might not see it, but the other thing is like a big part of going out to bars nowadays you don't necessarily meet someone and have a wild night with them anymore. I feel like it's like the first thing that happens is, can I have your Instagram? Let's exchange Instagrams. And then you follow each other for a little bit, you get into it, and maybe you end up hanging out. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you follow these people on Instagram and you never see them again.
Yep.
Literally. So I don't know. Dating in New York is interesting. I think as a young man out here in New York, you have to be aware of what you're getting yourself into. You don't want to, you have to communicate really well because everyone's looking for different things. You don't want to go getting your heart crushed or anything like that.
I think it's too much in the dating life now. I think it's too much pressure.
There's a lot of pressure, and
a lot of fucking pressure.
And there's all this who should pay for the bill thing, and nowadays it's very, are we gonna split it, or if you're the person who asked the other person on the date.
I think it's supposed to be more straightforward. Listen, if I feel, and back in how you do it. If I ask a girl on a date, I'm paying for the date. If she asks me out on a date,
she's paying for the date.
She's supposed to be paying for the date.
That's how you did it back in the day.
Yeah, that was, but not necessarily how I did it back in the days. It may be like, okay, hey, she invited me out on a date. I had such a good time on the date. I want to pay for the bill.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, you know what? I'm not even thinking about that. I want to do this again.
So what happens if you don't have a good time?
Huh?
They're splitting it if you don't have a good time?
Then we going Dutch.
Dutching
that motherfucker up. I'm like, yo, pay for your shit. Dutch it.
So what happens? So what happens if you initially there was like there were sparks, and then a topic popped up that wasn't. They kind of killed the sparks a little bit. So then it's like up and down, up and down, up and down. You still going Dutch?
Yeah, I'm going Dutch, bro.
I mean,
because it's not happening. Because think about it. I look at it. I look at stuff that way too as well. Think about it. If you have chemistry, you have chemistry. There's nothing can stop your chemistry. Huh? Look, I'm gonna bring this in. When I met my wife, right? For me, it was chemistry. We met. We start talking to each other. We start talking to each other about things that we didn't really. She didn't necessarily need, or I didn't necessarily need to know. But we both got into that conversation. And look, it didn't go smooth for the first couple of times because I invited her the first couple of times. and she couldn't make it, but she had a valid reason.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I didn't take it personal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Like I invited her out the first time to dinner, to lunch, to have like brunch or something. She's like, I couldn't. I have to study for our exam, which, and I respect that.
Well, you have to respect that in New York. I think a big thing in New York is like people are busy. You have to understand that.
For me, that means school was important to her, and I wouldn't take that away from her. The third time, she's like, "Yeah, I have finals. I can't really do it." I was like, "Fine." Then I was like, "Okay." I asked her another time, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm free," and I was there, and the conversation flowed to the end, like all the way to the end.
Patience.
So for me, I think that was patience, as Henry says.
So, all right. So let me ask another question. Henry, you said that you started to the DM, right? So when you start into the DM, like,
hey, girls will slide into your DM too.
Yeah,
it happens.
It happens to everybody.
It's vice versa.
Okay. Yeah. So what is the thing that makes you go, I'm gonna respond, or what is the thing that you say to have the girl respond?
I mean, I think it's kind of tough. Like when you base it off of who you're going to respond to if someone hits you up. I mean, I base it off of like how many times have I met them in person? Do I actually want to associate myself with this person? Are they nice? Are they interesting? I mean, as I'm getting older, I find like the more interesting someone is, the more, fascinating of conversations we can have. I enjoy that. You know what I mean? And the thing with the Instagram though is it's primarily you're basing your opinion off people off of what they post, not how they are in person. So that's why I want to take into account how many times I've met them and things like that. You know what I mean?
But if you've never met the person, but you go to their Instagram and you're like, yo, this is dope. What is it that how do you approach that? Do you hit them in the daytime or you hit them at nighttime? Okay. Like those things matter?
I think you got to hit mid-afternoon. Okay. If you're realistic. Yeah. And if you're actually someone who, cares about the way other people view you, when you don't know them. Because you're not going to hit someone up at 2 a.m. in the morning and be like, hey, you're beautiful.
That's a booty call.
That's a booty call. Yeah. Exactly. So you gotta be.
So these are the actions to take.
These are the actions. Yeah. So the action, you say, hey, how you doing? I don't know. I like to start sometimes with a compliment or just even like, you never know. Like they might post a story, and you're like, oh, you know what? Like, that's actually dope.
I've been there.
I've done that. That's sweet. How was your trip? If they have crazy style, say something about their style. I mean, it's all about how you feel in that exact moment. I never send 2 DMs that are the same, because then you're just doing a survey at the end of the day. Gotcha. And you're not out here to do surveys.
Facts.
I mean, Wes is pointing out the window. There must be something going on.
I know.
Hey, it's Soho, man. It's Soho. There's always something going on.
The problem is they can't park cars.
They can't park cars. Oh, Wes is worried about his Jeep.
I'm parked right there.
He's worried about his Jeep.
Because they already hit this guy already.
Well,
that's part of life. It's part.
Welcome to New York City.
You better fold those mirrors up.
Oh, the mirrors are folded up, but so. You don't know how to drive. That's the problem.
Okay, so let me hit you back. Like, so when you moved to the city, you were single, right?
Not really.
Not really? Okay.
Not really. I didn't.
Did you do any dating?
I didn't know. I did not do any dating when I got to New York.
Okay.
When I came here, I was already in the process of like getting married.
Oh, okay.
So I never hit the New York streets.
You were like one of those mail order brides, huh?
Yes. Nothing wrong with that.
I'm not saying anything was wrong with that.
I think if I was ever here single, I don't think I would thrive because I'm very judgy.
I think. Well, okay. Here's come on. I think you got to take that judgment out, because the more you're judgmental of other people, the more you're judgmental of yourself.
Yeah, but that was your first mistake.
Well, listen, bro.
Hey, he said if.
No. I'm giving you an example.
He wasn't single.
Yeah,
it is not a mistake, sir.
No. I'm not saying in sense of a mistake that you didn't. It's a bad thing you didn't come single.
So then I'm gonna ask you to use your words. Use your words, sir. Use your words.
All right.
You can't say it's a mistake. I'm just saying if I was here, I know how I am.
Yeah.
So like for me, when I see what is attractive to me is there are different elements that make up something that's attractive, right?
You gotta have. I think you gotta substance.
There we go. You can be the pretty.
You can be the prettiest person in the world. I can.
I have no substance.
Pass me the ball. Pass me the ball. Pass me
World's
the
best
ball.
news.
Pass me the ball.
Oh shit! Nice catch, come on.
I got the ball. All right. Everybody breathe. My story. All right. So initially, I think a pretty face, a great figure, right? Then, how are you dressed? Are you put together? You might be having an off day. If I look at you and I need a curse from you like you're having an off day, because everybody has them, I look at. Okay.
I don't have off days.
You'll be standoffish.
Congratulations.
You're gonna be standoffish if the person's having a bad day.
If they're having a bad, off day in terms of what their fashion looks like.
Mm. Well, that's what I was talking about earlier. Fashion's a huge part of this.
Yes.
And that's the other thing. You don't want to, if you're paying for the first date, you don't want to spend too much money on the first date because then guess what's going to be expected all the time? To be paid for.
You guys put too much pressure on yourself about this shit, this dating stuff.
I don't know.
Okay, in New York City.
Pressure. You have to be aware of all this shit.
All right.
I think maybe you might be way too easygoing.
No, it's not. No. So you're missing the point, bro. You're missing the point. You put a thing on
You are easygoing though.
Yeah. You put in too much on fashion, the way you look. That you're being shallow. You're thinking about outside only and if you don't have substance, you can be as pretty, bro. Trust me, I've done it.
Listen,
I've done all that.
Listen,
I'm telling you.
Listen.
Well, let me.
You have West Way, and this is Kamal's way. You have West Way. We have Henry's way.
That's me.
But I'm giving you an example. For me, okay, I came here single. People believe like, oh, you have to be dressed up. You have to have a lot of money to. Nowadays, that's the dating attitude. If you don't have money, if you don't have the fly drip, you don't get a girl. You don't get to date because people's like, oh, he doesn't have money, he doesn't have this, and they expect a lot from you when they don't put anything to the table.
So
you understand? So the whole thing is like, you don't have to be pretty. I can
your opinion.
No. Yeah. You can sit down. No. Wait. Listen.
So then say how I feel about it. In my opinion,
No.
For me, you don't have to be pretty.
But that's a lot of people's first mistake.
For me, again, it's not a mistake. For me, she has to be pretty.
That is the initial attraction to people. It looks right.
For you, bro, she doesn't have to be. For me, she has to be.
For me, pretty can't put food on the table, bro. How long pretty's gonna last?
Not forever.
Not forever, but and then you know what the problem is too as well.
There's a lot of songs about that.
No. You
Come on, we should write a song.
Listen,
bro.
you're thinking, but she's pretty. Yeah, she can walk out, do this, she look good and all of that, right? But what? When it comes to having an intelligent conversation, she can't. So for me, I just want to point out. Yeah. That
I started with what she looks like, right?
We didn't get Kamal's whole story yet. This is true.
So I just wanna be clear that I never got to finish. And I was so generous.
Let's hear it.
Passed you the ball.
You did pass us the ball. Hey, Wes, throw Kamal the world's best news, would you?
Go ahead, Kamal. Knock yourself out. Let me hear what you have to say.
Let's hear part B.
So as I was saying before, I'm going to look at what she looks like, because when she steps out of the house, she represents me. So for me, I care what she looks like.
And when you step out of the house, you represent her too. That's why you always looking fly.
Exactly. So that matters to me, right? How much does that matter? I would say a good 40%.
Okay, there we go. Now we're getting
right?
the nitty gritty of it.
All right.
So now when I speak to her, she has to be interesting.
Right.
And interesting to me looks like many different things.
Of course.
Right? One is how she speaks.
Mm-hmm.
Her vocabulary is not basic.
As Jay-Z would say, read a book, you illiterate son of a bitch.
Right? Her vocabulary isn't basic. She doesn't necessarily need to use slang, but she can, and she places it appropriately in the appropriate areas to get the response that is needed, right?
There we go.
So
I concur.
So now that to me is the other 60%.
Okay, there we go. See.
Okay.
So I guess sometimes we just gotta wait a little bit.
I mean,
but there's times
we were talking about patience in dating, right?
There's times there's times with that being said, there's times these girls they have their off days. They come out of their house in a sweats. They may not look
sweats, hood up, glasses on, hat, covering the face.
Wait, listen. Not 100.
I never said anything.
I know you were about to say something. Not in a way that not a pretty or an attractive way, right? But you hold a good conversation. You're not really focusing on our looks right now. You're focusing on the conversation we having a conversation. It's flowing. I'm not even thinking about looks. I'm not even thinking about the way she dressed. I'm not even thinking about the style or whatever.
That's how
you understand?
That's how it is for you.
Yeah, I'm having a conversation. The conversation is going, and it's going where I like it to go, and it's stimulating me. I'm learning something from her. She's learning something from me.
I love learning shit from girls.
You understand?
Yeah.
Women.
So that right there, that's sexy to me. That's attractive to me. So that's an in already. She already have an in. Now the clothing, the way she dressed can come after. You can put her. You can even try to style it like, yo, babe, this don't look good. Put this with this, or try this. Try this, huh?
Me personally, I'm not interested in that.
Well, hey, everyone's got their own way. I think it goes both ways as well. Like,
so you interested in the way she looks?
I think a lot of women in New York. I think. Wait, here, hold up, gentlemen. Listen to me. I think there's a lot of like it goes both ways though. Okay. Like, yes, we're talking about this. I think in New York, as men, you also have to, hold yourself to a high standard and be a gentleman and be aware of what's going on in this world and be interesting and be someone that's fun to talk to, because if all you're doing is buying clothes or buying meals, that's not what matters at the end of the day. What matters at the end of the day is having a communication.
You can sit down. You can sit down and chop. Yeah, you can sit down and chop it up with that person.
Yeah, and you're comfortable and happy when you're doing that.
Yeah.
Come on.
I'm gonna pass the ball right back to you because I want you to tell me more about what being a gentleman means.
I think being a gentleman. Sorry, I probably just broke everyone's eardrums. I think being a gentleman to me is when you say you're gonna be somewhere, like we talked about the other week. I was a little late. Like, you're on time, you're hospitable, regardless of even if you people always talk about hospitable being when you're the host at your place or something like that. But there's also like opening the door for a lady, and vice versa. When she opens the door for you, it's also nice. So
we would refer to that as chivalry.
Yeah, chivalry. But a gentleman is dresses well spoken. Goes polite. Out of his way to do nice things. Always polite. Yeah. Never, I don't know. If I get the wrong meal at a restaurant, unless it's like really something I don't like, I'm gonna eat it. It's not. Those people are working hard. They're, So I think it's a behavior thing. And 60% to 80% of communication is physical behavior. I think.
Yeah.
To our little favorite thing where we say one little thing, an action to take. Yeah. Mine is gonna be. Do your best to be on time and don't bullshit. Just be yourself, because at the end of the day, if you're acting like someone you're not, you're gonna attract the people that aren't compatible with you. And at the end of the day, I think compatibility is one of the most important things, because that's what people grow into. My grandfather and I have talked about it. Like, the reason my grandmother and him have been together for more than 50 years is because of their compatibility. You know what I mean? So I think that's the biggest thing from my side. I'm going to throw it back over to Kamal. You say it.
So what I would say is life isn't a dress rehearsal.
Okay.
So make sure you stay dressed to impress.
Hey, I like that.
All right.
That's a clean line. Nice and quick, too.
So for me, I would say with all of this, I just say having substance. Because without that, and nowadays people put too much pressure on themselves about what clothes to wear, where to go, and just go with the flow. Go with the flow. Be as laid back as possible. But still, I'm not saying laid back to the point that you don't want to do anything. You're doing something, but don't put too much pressure on it. And nobody, you don't find something when you go looking for it.
You don't.
You find it when you least expect it, and when you're not looking for it. That's why I tell everybody.
I agree.
And when you find that person that you can connect with,
whoever it may be,
it doesn't matter what's going on. you're gonna always find a way to connect to that person at all times.
I agree. I mean, I think the laying low or like going with the flow is a big thing for me. Like almost every time I have a date, I go, Wes, what should I wear?
Put too much
what
pressure.
should I do? Wes is like, yo, dude, just show up to the date.
That's it, bro.
That's it. I was like, all right.
Look, for example,
we were trying to shop for pants the other day. Wes
no,
looks at me. He goes, looks like you're wearing something from the closet tonight.